Hi everyone, I am Gordon Rose T. Bancale, and today I'm going to discuss about the sociolinguistic varieties of Philippine English. First, let's talk about the introduction. English is an official language in the Philippines along with Filipino, a standardized register originally based on. So, the Philippines were a Spanish colony for over 3 centuries, but when the Americans took control in 1898, they immediately implemented English instruction in schools. It became much more widespread among Filipinos than Spanish ever was, and by the late 1960s. So, English is one of the official languages of the Philippines along with Filipino, which is based on Tagalog. So, during the Spanish colonial period, Spanish was the main language of government and education, but this changed when the Americans took control in 1898. They introduced English in schools and it quickly became more widely used than Spanish. By the late 1960s, the Philippines was recognized as its own unique version of English. So as of today, many Filipinos speak English, and they speak English also as a second language along with other languages. So, a small of number of Filipinos, especially from wealthy families in Metro Manila and other cities, speak English at home. Previous work on Philippine English phonology has described social class based variation among speakers, which is linked to different levels of substrate influence from various Philippine languages. So Tayaw, following Liam Zon, classified speakers into acrolectal, mesolectal, and biselectal groups based on their education levels, professions, and language usage in different domains. So studies have shown that how Filipinos speak English often depends on their social class. This is because the first languages of Filipinos like Cebuano, Ilocano, or Waray can influence their English pronunciation. So linguists like Lourdes Tayaw have grouped Philippine English speakers into three main categories, so which are the acrolectal, the mesolectal, and biselectal. So these groups are based on education, jobs, and how English is used in daily life. So here is an explanation of each. So here are the sociolinguistic varieties, which are the acrolect, the macolect, and the basilect. First, let's discuss the acrolect. So an acrolect is the most prestigious or highest variety of a language that is used in formal situations. It is often the standard form of the language used in official documents, formal speeches, and often taught in schools. So as I've said, an acrolect is the most prestigious or highest variety of language that is used in formal situation. It is commonly used by highly educated people such as professionals and those in the upper class. So when you hear acrolectal English in formal speeches, official documents, and academic settings, so people who speak this way tend to have very little influence from their first language when speaking English. So there are some key characteristics. So one of that is acrolectal or acrolectal speakers, they tend to use it in formal and professional situation. Also, acrolect It is spoken by the upper class and well-educated individuals, and also the pronunciation and grammar are close to standard English. Again, acrolect is those, or acrolectal group are those people who are fluent in speaking English. Next, let's proceed to the mesolect. So mesolect refers to a register or range of registers of spoken language whose character falls somewhere between the prestige of the acrolect and the informality of the basilect. So often the most widely spoken form of language generally being used by the middle class. So when we say mesolect, so mesolect is somewhere in the middle. It is not as formal as the acrolect, but still more refined than the basilect. So this variety is commonly spoken by the middle class and is often used in work or educational settings. So mesolect speakers might show some influence from their first language, but it's not too strong. So here are some key characteristics of the mesolect. So mesolect or mesolectal groups, they tend to use it in both formal and informal situations, and it is commonly spoken by the middle class and also some influence from the Philippine languages. So again, mesolect is somewhere in the middle. It is commonly used by the middle class. Next is basilect. So basilect group was composed of sub-professionals whose use of English was limited to job-related topics or interacting with superior, rated themselves average or weak in the use of English. So the basilect is the most informal type of Philippine English and is usually spoken by people with less exposure to English education. So basilect speakers often use English only at work or when talking to their bosses. So they usually say that their English skills are average or weak. So here are some key characteristics of basilect. So basilect used in job-related tasks or specific situations. It is also spoken by people with limited English education. And lastly, it has a strong influence from the Philippine languages. So overall, the way Filipinos speak English depends a lot on their background, education, and social status. So the acrolect, mesolect, and a basilect show how English in the Philippines is shaped by countries' diverse cultures and languages. So understanding these differences helps us appreciate the unique way English is used in the Philippines and how it connects people from different walks of life. So that's the end of my topic. Hope that you learned something. Thank you.